company received the Emerging Company of the Year Award in 2013, and all Indian Achievers Foundations crowned him as Emerging Leader of 2013. He possesses a special interest in research in trichology and skin lightening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, and my sincere gratitude to all the organizers and respected chairperson. Today I'll be presenting a research which we conducted in a field of androgenic alopecia with oral supplement. And I'll be throwing some light on what results we achieved with the initial observational study, which included 50 male patients across India. I'll be taking you through a brief introduction, though a lot have been talked on androgenic alopecia yesterday. Hair loss, its scientific aspects, Hamilton-Norwood scale of measurement which we use for this study, a novel supplement called GainmoreTM M, which is used to treat androgenic alopecia, and the study results. In fact, this is typically a male pattern hair loss, which is very common, and it is characterized by local androgen increase, which is dihydrotestosterone, and increase in the activity of androgen receptors. It can affect all races. The prevalence varies, but in India, when we did a study of 1,000 patients, we found the incidence of the androgenic alopecia is 58%, very large per se. We looked at few very interesting causes of hair loss in androgenic alopecia, and we found the enzyme 5-alpha reductase, which was basically responsible for breaking down testosterone into dihydrotestosterone. And now this dihydrotestosterone was basically acting on androgen receptor, which was resulting into hair loss and gradual miniaturization of the hair follicle, resulting into overall hair follicle to die and the skull becomes visible. So this was the scientific aspect which made us to design a particular product to address, and we said, can we arrest this mechanism? Can we prevent conversion of testosterone to dihydrotestosterone? Number one. So that's target one. Target two, can we come out with a strategy to deactivate androgen receptor here? That's strategy two. So we looked at these two as a target points to arrive at a product to address to this condition. In fact, we looked at other causes of androgenic alopecia, and we observed, apart from excess dihydrotestosterone production, there was increased oxidative stress, which was resulting into hair loss. Keratin deficiency was observed in few population. Deficiency of vitamins and minerals. So we said, why not address everything and find out whether particular product works in this kind of patients. And we use Hamilton-Norwood scale of alopecia, where we included in our trial the mild to moderate patients on the scale. In fact, our product had it's a proprietary blend containing a DHT inhibitor, which is saw palmetto-serranoripins, you call it. We use antioxidant, grapeseed extract. We use zinc and selenium as minerals, B vitamins, L-methylfolate, biotin and niacinamide, and hair protein, which is bioavailable oral keratin. We were skeptical about using oral keratin because we were not sure about the viability and its action. So what we did was we independently assessed oral keratin results in vitro studies, and we found that when we use oral keratin, it was able to increase the anagen phase by 9.2% and decrease telogen phase by 9.2%. So that was very effective. It was getting absorbed and it was producing results. In fact, it reduced the hair loss in hairful test by 4 times. And if you look at the brightness of the hairs, its results were visible in 90 days. So with this, we included this oral keratin in our preparation of Gainmore. In fact, we looked at saw palmetto and its research which was done, and it's basically it's an inhibitor of DHT. It increases the activity of 3-alpha hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase, which is responsible for conversion of DHT to weaker androgen, androsterol. Now, it also had a fantastic results on binding of DHT to AR. In fact, it blocked 50% of binding of DHT to its receptors, thus strongly inhibiting the action of 5-alpha reductase, which we saw as a first major mechanism in hair loss. Unlike finasteride, which in many trials, it resulted in inhibition of sexual drive, a loss of sexual drive. This is a side effect of finasteride, which is also a 5-alpha reductase inhibitor. We didn't find any such side effect with saw palmetto extract. So this was encouraging. We went on to look at grapeseed extract, and it showed remarkable hair cycle converting activity from telogen to anagen phase. So apart from being antioxidant, it had fantastic hair cycle converting activity. Selenium increased selenoproteins responsible for keratocyte function. We had a zinc, which was potent inhibitor of hair follicle regression, and thus accelerates the hair follicle recovery. So each ingredient had a role to play in this combination. The B vitamins were basically used for stimulating the hair growth. Now with this, we came with a study which was conducted at the Department of Dermatology and Mineralogy at Maulana Azad Medical College, Delhi. Ganmore capsule, it's an oral therapy, M. It is given once a day for a duration of 6 months. This was an observational study before, so it was not randomized. It was open label observational study. We included men with androgenic alopecia as classified by Norbert Hamilton classification. Total patients were 50, the age between 18 to 41 years. And the type was basically mild to moderately severe vertex male pattern hair loss according to modified Norbert Hamilton classification, which is 2-3 vertex, 3-3 vertex, or 4 or 5. We excluded all the abnormalities on screening, physical examination, or laboratory evaluation. Surgical correction of scalp hair loss, we excluded. Topical minoxidil use within last 1 year, we excluded those patients because we wanted to see the independent result of this preparation. Use of drugs with androgenic or anti-androgenic properties, if patients were using those drugs, those kind of patients were excluded. Use of finasteride or other 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, if they were using this kind of product, those patients were excluded. Alopecia due to other causes, symptomatic cardiac problems, uncontrolled hypertension, or any autoimmune disorder. So those kind of patients were excluded from this trial. How did we measure efficacy? In fact, hair counts obtained from color macro photographs of 1 inch diameter, which is 5.1 centimeters square, clipped hair, length 1 mm, with 11 to 12 megapixel camera. Patient self-assessment of scalp hair. And the third was the independent assessment of standardized clinical global photographs of the vertex scalp by a panel of 3 dermatologists who are blinded to the treatment, that's very important, and experience photographic assessment of hair growth using standardized 7-point scale. So the 7-point scale was either a no improvement to a drastic improvement. We did a safety measurements of clinical laboratory evaluations and adverse reactions reported. We looked at the results. If you really look at, these are the pictures of before and after of a few patients and what kind of results we got. So we divided results into grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, grade 4. Hair counts of 0 to 25% increase was considered as a grade 1 response to the therapy. Grade 2 response was 25 to 50% increase in hair counts at the end of 3.5 months. Grade 3 was 50 to 65% increase in hair counts at the end of 4 months. And grade 4 was more than 65% increase in hair count at the end of 6 months. So we could see all the patients, all 50 patients responded, and they were falling either in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, or grade 4. So there was 100% response rate. If I go into the fine print of the study, we had 30% of the patients who were in grade 4 response, 20% of the patients in grade 3 response. We had another 35% in grade 2 and 15% were in grade 1 response. As a result, 50% of the participants responded noticeable decrease in hair loss after 45 to 60 days of treatment. At 6 months, there is improvement in hair growth from a mean of 65%. It is advisable to prolong the therapy more than 6 months to 9 months, because as we prolong the therapy, we found many patients they were able to demonstrate more hair follicles. By the end of the study, majority of men reported new hair growth. We had 3 patients out of 50 having one reporting a gastric discomfort, one hyperacidity, and there was one sexual dysfunction reported in one patient. We concluded that the oral supplementation GainmoreTM in men with androgenic alopecia is effective in reducing hair loss and improving new hair growth. I have to point out some limitations of our study. This study was an observational ongoing trial. There's no statistical analysis done yet. We wanted to test the results in a population, and then we thought we'll go for a randomized multicentric trial. No comparative head-to-head study conducted with available oral formulation for alopecia. Study involved only Indian subjects. I think this requires a larger subject to be included. Further study involving large number of population required for conclusive data. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rajaram. There are any questions? Really, you presented very good results. It's true, need the statistical study,
yes.
But I think that with this result that you have, you can perfectly make the statistical analysis, and I think that is very good result. Just I have one question. The oral keratin, do you have studies that I know that the oral keratin is in the market, but they have studies that demonstrate that the oral keratin is reaching the skin of scalp?
In fact, before using oral keratin, we did in vitro study, and we found out that this is reaching the skin. In fact, it was responsible. I showed you one data which 9.2% increase anagen and decreased telogen. Then you had very important data on brightness and brightness of the hair color, and the pull test where it was almost 50% reduction. So and we could show that keratin was reaching hair. So that's where we were initially skeptical about using keratin in our preparation. But once we did a study, we found out it's helpful. Then we added it.
Yes, my question is much more than if they demonstrate that Richie to take it orally, the oral keratin, you can demonstrate that the oral keratin is present into the skin.
Yes.
I can see the results, but in this case, if you don't have the comparative, it's difficult to see if really it's because the oral keratin reached the skin and is not dissolved before to reach the skin.
Yeah, this was the data which was bioavailable indigestible keratin capable of binding keratin, which comprises the majority of hair. So we did the study. In fact, that's what we were not clear, because keratin, there was a controversial data, both sides. One side
they have in vitro studies that demonstrate that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is your certified from Omics.